Well, good morning here on the East Coast, and also good morning on the West Coast. And it's on the dot, and we have a great show for you. We're going to be talking about the NFL draft, which is going on in Las Vegas. As you can see the background, it's going to start tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And this portion of On the Dot has been brought to you by Euphoria. And if you don't know what Euphoria is, it's nutrition based on your unique DNA. And as you can see here, this is has my name on it, and no other product that's made is designed specifically for you. And that it's an amazing company, and I encourage all of you to check it out, euphoriascience.com. And also by NutraSwish, which I didn't know much about until a few months ago. Glutathione. If you have a chance, Google glutathione or DuckDuckGo glutathione. And it's an amazing antioxidant, the most powerful antioxidant. And in this time of health and wellness, you want to have your immune system so that it can fight off, colds, viruses, all those kind of things that have been in the news the last 2 or 3 years. So with that, we've got a special show. We've got Coach O coming on to talk about his top 10 NFL draft picks of all time. And I would like to share some interesting people that have been drafted in the past. Obviously, Tom Brady stands out by himself because obviously 7 Super Bowl rings and an amazing career, and he was picked in the 6th round. So I'm sure there's teams out there right now saying, "Gosh, we would love to find another Tom Brady." Joe Montana, one of the great quarterbacks of all time, was picked in the 3rd round. And I'm sure there's some teams out there that would love to have a Joe Montana. My teammate with the Raiders, Rod Martin, NFL Super Bowl MVP, was picked in the 12th round. Ken Houston, the great Houston Oiler, was picked in the 9th round. L.C. Greenwood, the great Steeler, was picked in the 10th round. How about this? Johnny Unitas picked in the 9th round, which is amazing. The speedster, the Olympics 100-meter champion from Tokyo, L.C. Greenwood, was picked in the 10th round. I'm sorry, 7th round. But that's Bob Hayes picked in the 7th round. Andy Russell, the great linebacker with the Pittsburgh Steelers, 16th round. Raymond Berry, NFL player, was picked in the 20th round. Hall of Famer, Raymond Berry, 20th round. They don't have, as many of you may know, there's only 7 rounds now, which is too bad. And by the way, Coach O is behind the curtains right now. We're going to bring him out in a few minutes to give you his picks. But I just want to go through some of these amazing players, great players that were picked in the later rounds. And again, today they wouldn't even be picked. Andy Robustelli, 19th round. Roger Staubach, great Dallas quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback, 10th round. Probably one of the greatest special teams player of all time. Buffalo Bills former team member Steve Tasker, picked in the 9th round. The great center for the Denver Broncos, Tom Nalen, picked in the 7th round. A friend of mine who I got to know back when I was at Stanford, he coached at the University of California, Berkeley, but one of the great University of California athletes, played basketball in a national championship basketball team, was on a Grey Cup championship team, and was in a Super Bowl. Joe Kapp, picked in the 18th round. Hall of Famer Art Donovan, picked in the 22nd round. How about this guy? One of the great Chicago Bear linemen of all time, Richard Dent, picked in the 8th round. Wouldn't you like to get Richard Dent in the 8th round? Again, he wouldn't even be picked today. Bart Starr, one of the great Green Bay Packers, picked in the 17th round. Bart Starr, unbelievable. Shannon Sharp, fantastic. I mean, Hall of Fame tight end, picked in the 7th round. Fellow running back who was a great running back, didn't play as long as my teammate Marcus Allen, but was a great player. Terrell Davis, picked in the 6th round. How about this? I think he played longer than any NFL player in history. George Blanda, picked in the 16th round. Wouldn't he be picked today? George Atkinson, one of the great Raiders, picked in the 7th round. Deacon Jones. I mean, can you imagine, if you know history, Deacon Jones, one of the great linemen of all time, Los Angeles Rams, picked in the 14th round. Can you believe that, Coach O? He's sitting behind the curtains right now, chomping at the bit to give you his picks. How about Rayfield Wright, who just passed away, one of the great offensive linemen in Dallas Cowboy history? Rayfield Wright, drafted in the 7th round, Hall of Famer. Another great Packer, and this is amazing. He was drafted in the 15th round, Willie Davis. Unbelievable. Reggie Roby. How would you like to get one of the greatest punters of all time, Reggie Roby, drafted in the 6th round? And then I couldn't believe this. One of the great players today who has done amazing things with the Kansas City Chiefs, Tariq Hill, was drafted in the 5th round, Coach O. Tariq Hill, 5th round. Can you believe that? Harold Carmichael, one of the great Philadelphia Eagle receivers, 7th round pick. Miami Dolphin great Hall of Famer Jake Scott, 7th round pick. Mel Gray, used to love to watch him play with the St. Louis Cardinals, 6th round pick. Joe Klecko with the Jets, great lineman, 6th round pick. And then finally, Don Maynard, who's in the Hall of Fame. I used to love to watch Joe Willie Namath throw to Don Maynard. Don Maynard, 9th round pick. Unbelievable. So all those teams out there, be patient. There's some players out there that no one's looking at, and you might get, the next Hall of Famer late in the rounds. Final thing I want to say before Coach O comes on, which teams drafted the most Hall of Famers? Number 1, Chicago Bears, 26 Hall of Famers. The Packers, 21 Hall of Famers. New York Giants, 18 Hall of Famers, tied with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have 18 Hall of Famers. The Washington Redskins, 17 Hall of Famers, and now they've changed the name of the Washington team. Cleveland Browns, 16 Hall of Famers. Detroit Lions, 13 Hall of Famers. And our Oakland, Los Angeles, and now Las Vegas Raiders, also 13 Hall of Famers. So with that, I'm going to bring on Coach O to take it over. Coach O, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great, man. But you just read like my whole freaking list.
No. I just was going through just different players. This is about the top 10, Coach. So I'm going to put you on the dot right now, and you got the floor, brother.
I'm okay. First off, it's great seeing you. We've been away for about 3 months. So hope that your new venture is doing well. And we get a chance to meet up soon. Going over the top 10, I mean, there's a whole lot. Obviously, you got to put Tommy Boy at number 1. Who thought this quarterback from Michigan, taken in the late rounds by New England, would turn out to be this so-called GOAT of all times? Is he that? In my opinion, I'll hold off. I'm not totally sold on it. I do have to call him a cheater. He was found about Deflategate, and it's not cheating unless you get caught, and he got caught. So second person I would put on the top 10 list, Jared Allen. Great defensive end that went with the Minnesota Vikings. Standout edge rusher at that time of the game. Then I believe he went to Carolina to finish off his career. You brought up Joe Theismann. Here's a round 4 pick out of Notre Dame. Where does he go? The Washington Redskins. But he is a Super Bowl champion, so I give him that. You brought up Bart Starr, another person. Growing up, I was born in 1961. He was, part of the NFL whenever I was a kid. There was Starr, there was Staubach, who's also on my list. Lenny Dawson, George Blanda. It just keeps on going with that. Y.A. Tittle, Fran Tarkington. Those were the quarterbacks of that time. And, you had Ray Nitschke and Johnny Unitas, another late round wonder that were the faces of franchises. So I give them that. Coming into the modern day now, Shannon Sharp, great tight end, Super Bowl winner with the Denver Broncos, a 7th round pick. Terrell Davis, you spoke about him. Again, a Super Bowl winner. Dwight Clark, the man who caught Montana's catch over the Dallas Cowboys to get into the Super Bowl. He was a 10th round selection. You brought up Richard Dent, Monsters of the Midway. Fierce linebacker. Jesse Salupo. Not too many people remember Jesse, but he was an 11th round pick, offensive lineman in that. Bo Jackson, one of the greatest two-sport athletes in modern day. Not only a baseball player with the Kansas City Royals, but part of the Raiders organization. Harold Carmichael, a fine wide receiver with the Philadelphia Eagles. And that, he made a team that he could. He made them better. And a lot of the younger players looked up to him. Mike Webster, the longtime center for the Pittsburgh Steelers in that Steel Curtain dynasty. Chuck Noll brought that mentality in to keep the family together. And the Steelers, along with the Cowboys, were the dynasties. Now it's the Patriots up until recent years. But again, it's that cohesiveness that this player that came in the late round that people sit there and say, yeah, we're going to waste a pick. He's going to ride the bench. He's going to learn. He's a Band-Aid. Somehow these Band-Aids stay along for a long time. And Mike Webster did that. My last guy that I would say people thought he's a Band-Aid. He's kind of like the Gaylord Perry of the NFL. If he ever were to get the nod to go to Canton, he would have so many uniforms and logos all over his bust. It would be really funny to see. But that's Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's still in the league, folks. He's still playing. He's a 7th round pick. He's been with multiple teams. But again, a late rounder that people just sat there and said, hey, you're a backup. You're a backup. He turns into be the starter and takes the team where they want to go. You were also doing the list of the teams that have the most Hall of Fame personnel. And you said the Raiders at 13. Well, let's not forget this year they're going to go to 14 with Cliff Branch being inducted. So we're going to climb up the list. So back to you there, bud.
Well, Coach O, thank you for going through your list of the top 10 that you put in your top 10, which is all those players are tremendous players. And I guess you're live from Cleveland, Ohio. What? How are the Browns looking for this draft? Any inside information?
Well, the inside, we don't have 1st round picks for the next 2 years, so it's going to be the best player available at the time. We have they have a lot of their players locked up under long-term contracts. The addition of Amari Cooper obviously bolsters the receiving core. The addition of Deshaun Watson is a point that is very volatile, I would say, within the fan base because of what behind the scenes actions went down with them going to talk to him and not letting Baker Mayfield know about it. Will they cut Baker? Will they trade Baker? What can they get for Baker? How much of a deterrent is that to the team this season on what the Browns do? So, Cleveland is going to be in a tough situation this year. Head coach Stefanski has some good tools around him, but the fan base right now is kind of upset with ownership all over this Deshaun Watson incident. So I don't know. There's been a multitude of season ticket holders that have asked for refunds because of the decision to go after Watson. Then again, you got Watson's legal issues and his guaranteed contract that totally puts a heavy burden on professional sports. I mean, you're giving somebody $223 million guaranteed, and he hasn't even played a one down for you. That kind of threw the whole league in a tizzy because of that, especially our Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. Now everybody wants to get paid. Kyle Murray wants to get paid. So it's a precedent now. Yeah, it's a business, but you got to learn how to fish or cut bait. And that's what professional sports is going to turn into. Who knows? Are they going to price themselves out of it?
Well, we thank you so much for your insight to the Cleveland Browns, because you're right there, and you obviously, Coach O, you've been involved in the game of American football for your whole life. So I know there's some eager Brown fans that are listening to you right now, and we'll hear you on the tape. I guess now we got to talk about our Raiders, because that's how you and I met when I came out to the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, and you picked us up at the airport, Coach O, and to celebrate Coach Tom Flores' induction last year. And obviously this year we're going to celebrate Cliff Branch. What are your thoughts about the Raiders and the new coach and new defensive coordinator and today's draft for the Raiders?
Well, I think with the organization itself, there had to be a cleaning because of what the actions that were done by Coach Gruden. Do I think that Richie should have been still on the team, or he at least got to interview for the position? Mr. Davis, Mark Davis, and those around the organization gave him his best shot. But I agree with the fact that even though he wasn't retained as the head coach, I give him only the top blessing with his new gig in Chicago as special teams coordinator there. He was looked up to by the Raiders, and I'm sure the Bears players will also do that. With the present coaching regime now, I'm 50-50 on McDaniels. I want to believe his talk, but I don't know if he could be a snake oil salesman. Yes, he grew up from his first stint as the Broncos head coach, and then going back to New England and listening again to Belichick and how he grooms coaches. And the only thing I can say is there's only been one assistant coach out of Belichick's tree that is a professional head coach that's really done anything, and that's Mike Vrabel at Tennessee. So obviously you can learn from him. It's just a matter of, are you a better coordinator or a better coach? We'll see what happens with McDaniels. As defensive, I like the idea of going to the 4-3. I think we have the players for it. Yes, we need some help in the secondary and linebackers. With Crosby at one end and that, I think we're okay. We did well in free agency in getting Devontae Adams. We knew what the price tag was going to be. You got a chance to re-sign Carr to an extension. Running back wise, Kenyon Drake and Josh Jacobs, you're still good there. Waller and Renfro at receivers. Offensive line, yes, we need help there too. But I see more on the defensive side that we need to look at in the draft. So we're not picking until tomorrow. So we'll see what we can get out of there.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for coming on the dot. And as you know, you get the last word. So, there's a lot of teams out there that would love to have a great draft. But as we know, it's not always, the rookies, not many of them make a huge impact, but some do. So you get the last word on the draft and the future of perhaps you might even want to talk about who you like for the Super Bowl next year. So take it away, Coach. And thanks again for coming on the dot.
No problem, Michael. We're gonna nix that Super Bowl pick because you never know what's gonna go down during the season and preseason. But in talking about the draft, you got to remember that from youth sports to high school sports to collegiate sports, and if you should get that opportunity to go pro, it's the opportunity of a lifetime. Unfortunately, that opportunity is not guaranteed. So to those people that are drafted, yes, you got the creme de la creme. You got the golden ring. That's great. It all depends on your character and what you do with your character to your organization that you're affiliated with. Unfortunately, there's going to be some GMs out there that make a trade somehow and to move up to pick a player, and which is going to put enormous pressure on that player. And in today's mental health worries and all that, it could make or break you. So the first thing I would say is to those players that are out there that get drafted, congratulations. Number two, make sure you keep your mental health in check. Three, your character is always going to outweigh anything that you do. So those are my main three things. Tonight is round one. It's unprecedented. There's 8 teams that do not have a pick in the first round. It's the first time it's ever done. So for those 8 teams that don't have a first round pick, hopefully the GMs don't make that gamble and risk it on a kid that will really mess them up. But other than that, good luck. Everybody have a safe time. Summer's coming up. Enjoy yourself. Get out and just treat yourself to the best that you can be. Mike, have a good one.